ciliated pseudostratified columnar. Now, pseudostratified columnar is not always ciliated, but when you're identifying it, if it has these little finger-like projections coming off of the columnar cells, that's cilia, okay? That means it's ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelial tissue. Now, pseudostratified columnar, so it appears like it is stratified, but it's not actually, so pseudo meaning fake. All right, so here we have the nuclei of all the cells. They're not in nice parallel lines like they normally are. They're just kind of haphazardly thrown, giving that stratified appearance, but you can see that all of the cells touch that singular basement membrane, which makes it still simple, okay? So it's pseudo-stratified, fake stratified. So if you see the cilia on the columnar cells, it's ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelial tissue. If you don't, it's just pseudostratified columnar epithelial tissue. Now this tissue is typically found in the trachea, okay? All right, so next we have actual stratified cells. All right, so stratified, there are multiple layers. Now, in these 2D images, some are just 2 or 3 or 4, okay? This is a lot of layers. It's not actually numbered. It's just a lot of stacked cells, okay? So for the purpose of this class, we have stratified cells. The shape of the cells are always going to be squamous, okay? There are other stratified tissues with different cell shapes. We're only going over the ones with squamous cell shapes, okay? Now, stratified squamous epithelial tissue can either be keratinized or non-keratinized. You need those description words, okay? It's very important to either have keratinized stratified squamous or non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue, all right? So the difference is this. So for the keratinized, you have these egg-shaped flat cells stacked on top of each other, but then you're going to have this wavy, wave-like, bacon-like layer of dead skin cells on top of the stratified squamous cells, okay? That's because keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue is found in the skin, okay? So again, right here, our skin, this is keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue. If you look at it under a microscope, the top layer of your skin is essentially dead, and so it has this kind of wavy appearance to it, all right? So that's where the keratinized come from. Keratin is in your skin, keratinized stratified squamous. The non-keratinized stratified squamous basically just looks like this, but no wavy dead skin. So non-keratinized, it doesn't have any keratin. It's actually found in like the esophagus or the rectum or the vagina. So non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue does not have that wavy appearance sitting on top of the stratified squamous cells. So lastly, for epithelial tissue, what we are going over in this class is transitional. All right, so it doesn't have a description, doesn't have a layer, doesn't have a shape, but it is transitional epithelial tissue, okay? You always have to say epithelial tissue. So transitional is special because it has 2 different cell shapes, all right? It has these basal shapes cells on the bottom, and they are stacked, stratified, and on the top, they have these squamous-like shapes of cells, okay? Just kind of sitting on top, a little flatter. So the reason for the difference of cells is because transitional epithelial tissue is found in the bladder and the urethra and the ureter. So it needs to constantly be contracting and expanding. So having those flat cells on top allows that these organs to expand and contract. Okay?